after rioters assaulted police, invaded the speaker's office, and hunted the vice president on January 6th, there was a sense maybe this violent shock would put an end to the lie that drove the insurrection, the lie that the election was stolen.
Count me out. Enough is enough.
But 1 year later, the opposite has happened, with the so-called Stop the Steal movement growing even stronger inside the Republican Party.
The election fraud of 2020 presidential election. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
The conspiracy theory promoted by former President Trump claims President Biden did not actually win the 2020 election. That's not true. Key swing states rechecked their vote totals. Georgia counted its ballots 3 times to be sure. A Republican-led audit in Arizona affirmed President Biden's win there, and courts rejected dozens of flimsy legal challenges put up by Mr. Trump's allies. And yet, nearly 3/4 of Republicans polled by NBC News now agree with what's known as the big lie. What are the biggest warning signs that are flashing to you right now?
All of this is no longer about 2020. It's about the next election. When the loser doesn't like the outcome of the results, being able to more easily claim victory.
Colorado's Democratic Secretary of State Jenna Griswold points out it's positions like hers, a state's top elections official, that keep the guardrails in place. But this year, about 2/3 of Republican candidates for that position in key swing states have questioned the results of the 2020 election.
The next time a candidate wants to reject the actual results of an election, it will be easier for them to do so. That's what this is all about.
Some of those Secretary of State candidates backed by Mr. Trump, who's endorsed Mark Fincham in Arizona.
By removing the fraud, Donald Trump won.
Election denier Christina Caramo in Michigan.
That makes us feel like they're complicit in stealing the election from the American people.
And Jody Hice in Georgia, a congressman who led an objection to his own state's results.
We have lost election integrity in Georgia. We have lost election confidence in Georgia.
And that Georgia race highlights what's at stake. Hice, who declined our request for an interview, is challenging the current Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, the man who famously resisted Mr. Trump's pressure to overturn Georgia's election results.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Raffensperger's refusal protected the legitimate results in Georgia, but he's been out fundraised by Hice.
Is this the GOP that you want to be a part of here?
I think that we need to realize that we have honest and fair elections, particularly in Georgia.
Before November 2020, most Republicans polled by NBC News thought their vote would be fairly counted. Now, fewer than half do, showing why the Stop the Steal movement is so problematic.
It shouldn't be controversial to say, if I cast my ballot for this person, then my ballot should be counted for that person. That should be the least controversial thing in American democracy, but somehow has become horrifyingly partisan.
The big lie, eroding confidence and our democracy. Hallie Jackson, NBC News, Washington.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.